What's going on, guys? Doolumbi here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Cosmic Crucible, my Week 5 in review, and my new defense for Week 6, and let me tell you, it's a spicy one. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Another week of going 2-1. We are at 19-17 right now. We got plus 18. Round 1. We went against a guy named Casper, and this fight was pretty interesting. So round 1, attack Superior 6 Vulture into a Extreme with Rogue. This still does work pretty well. Obviously, Vulture taking the speed up off. Pretty straightforward, 83-63, nothing too crazy here. Room number 2, still using the APOC Hive Mind against a Spider Society. Again, make sure your APOC is next to whoever the taunter is for you. For me, it's going to be Venom or Carnage, and make sure you take out Venom because Venom does nothing for this fight because Spider-Man Noir, you cannot counterattack on his ultimate, even though it's not written in the kit. So make sure you have Gwenom instead because she provides more to the team. Room number 3, I used Eternals with Tangled and BTS against an Infinity Watch. See, I can one-shot it. Look at me go. Room number 4, I tried to use a Doom MOE against a Dorm Superior 6, and the fight went pretty okay, honestly. Unfortunately, my Doom was too big and their GGC was too small, and he didn't get pushed by the 2 pings that hit him. So I ended up needing to eat an ult, and then I used the ultimate on Doom, and then he got pinged down to death, and then I had no vulnerables out there for Kang to hit into as a striker. Came in with a cleanup, worked really well. Room number 5, tried to use New Warriors, just straight New Warriors on this. It worked pretty well, honestly, all things considered. I was fine coming in and having to clean this up because it's a BK. It is what it is. I had to use APOC somewhere else in room 2, so I didn't have the APOC for here. And then room number 6, we used Cabal, Lizard as a Raider, and then Archangel also as a Raider into SD with Sus and Kingpin. So this went super straightforward, super easy. Room number 1 for him, he used full MOE against my MOE, or my Extreme with Rogue, and you'll see it didn't do as good as mine did. I played it a lot better, 6 points better, and he, because I used Superior 6 here, used MOE elsewhere, so that helped me out a lot. Room 2, he tried to Bifrost this twice, and this is why I say, do not use Bifrost into Spider Society. It is not a shoo-in, even on a 720k punch down. It is not a shoo-in victory. Ended up having to use the Hive Mind APOC here anyway, but dropped 2 fights, which is what helped me win. Room number 3, used Darkhold against my Black Order Quicksilver. It did win, but it got a 44, so terrible efficiency and terrible turn bonus. This team is still just shocking people because the entire team is literally just Quicksilver and Thanos and then the other idiots. Room number 4, I don't know why, but he tried to use New Warriors into my Super Scroll. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Things happen, gents. I don't know. And then he came in with a Doom Eternals Quicksilver roll cleanup, and it barely worked. This was really bad for him. Next fight, he used Pegasus on my Infinity Watch, which is why Infinity Watch is changing up a bit. Because unfortunately, Infinity Watch is not the best team anymore. A Pegasus can take it out, even on only a 400k punch down. This is punishing my Infinity Watches. And then room number 6, a Cabal failed here. That's right, Cabal failed. He tried to use Vulture and Spider Slayer. He needed the Emma for the speed, but didn't do it. Then he came back in with an Emma, and it worked well. So round 1, a victory. Next up, we went against Taguro Jr. 100%. And this man went full turtle on my keister. So round number 2, room number 1, we got MOE going into an Extreme with Rogue. 83-48, did not do the best here, but it was a one-shot, and I was happy about it. It didn't do great because I also had the wrong ISO on Kang. I should have had him as a striker, but there was a lot of debate on where to use other things, and I switched him to Raider for a different fight, and then ended up not using him here. So please make him a striker. This would have gone way better. Room number 2, I am the only person on planet Earth to lose APOC Hive Mind into this, so good on me. He used Quicksilver over Pav because he's trying to use the Hive Mind Pav counter into my Spider Society. Came in with a Bifrost cleanup. Super straightforward, super easy. Room number 3, out of time, G19, 1 Diamond Black Knight with Tangled. Just Weaver, though, so it's literally out of time, dropping Sarnak for Weaver. I tried to come in with the ballsiest play of my entire existence. Believe it or not, got slapped in my face for that stupidity. Tried to Pegasus it, couldn't touch it, and then just New Warriors did. Luckily, that worked because that was my last attempt. Should have just come in with New Warriors for the cleanup right after. Room 4, Cabal, Vulture, AA. Once again, I'm really liking the Vulture and the Archangel with Cabal because Archangel goes really fast. He's at 127 speed. He's a good raider, gets a crit out there pretty early. So I'm really liking this kind of combo here. But he had Sus, Undying, and Doom. The AA was to counteract the Greg dying, essentially, and then Vulture getting that turn meter from people dying, so he fed off of that. Room number 5, I used a sack with Darkhold Phoenix into Superior 6 with Dorm. I actually sacked this incorrectly as well, but when they have Exhaust, they can't spawn with Revive once, which is shocking. I didn't know that. So Dorm as a fortifier here is a complete waste because anything that comes in with a sack here will take the revives off. It doesn't matter if he's full health or not. And then I came in with a Tangled, Red Hulk, Doom, and a Zuggs for a pre-taunt because I didn't want Lizard putting an ability block on either one of my Tangled members. And then room number 6, Superior 6 into an MLF Emma SD. Now let's see what my opponent did. He used MOE against my Extreme Rogue as well. Did way worse than I did. Also had Raider on Kang, which I think is a no-no, and had Striker on Titania, which is a double no-no in my opinion. And then room number 2, this is the reason why I won, because he tried to Hive Mind Spider-Man Pav into a Spider Society. Shout out to Dorky Dad for trolling the community, telling people this worked. Good on him. Thanks, buddy. But in all seriousness, we've realized the bigger the Noir, the harder this counter actually is. And I think Peter B as a healer also helped this fight out because he heals way more as a healer passively. So he failed this 3 times, so he did not clear room 2. Room number 3, he used an Eternals, BTS Nova, Red Hulk here, and almost failed it. Again, this team is just catching people off guard because they see such a low number here. And then it just does way better because the 3 idiots don't add anything to this fight other than kit mechanics to Thanos. So it really catches people off guard. Room number 4, he used Vulture, Void Knight, and Cabal here getting an 8357 on my room 4, which I count as a win. If Cabal is getting an 8357, that's a win in my books. Room number 5, we've got Pegasus going into Infinity Watch. Unfortunately, Pegasus is continuing to be able to beat Infinity Watch because my Infinity Watch is on the smaller side, and I'm not going to invest in them further. It's not worth it in my opinion. Room number 6, he used APOC and New Warriors against my BK, SD, and Cap. So a pretty good way to take out this room with APOC. But unfortunately, most people need APOC into this room, or you can't clear it, just like this guy. So I'll take it. Round 2 was a victory. And then round 3, we went against Baka, a friend of the channel, a friend of the streams. Room number 1, we went in with Cabal, APOC, and Doom against a Superior 6. And I know what you're thinking. Cabal does not do well against Superior 6 because he doesn't put out the vulnerables. You're very correct. But as all Raiders, I'm clearing all the ability blocks that anybody's going to put on. Green Goblin Classic goes turn 1, and his turn 1 will not apply any traumas. So any ability blocks that gets applied because of the room rules, because of Skirmisher and Skirmisher, will get cleared because my team has all Raider. So they literally took turns for about a minute, and then I just essentially went to town on them. APOC ulting, all that kind of good stuff did really, really good things. It was a pretty straightforward fight, honestly. You can see an 83-66 worked really, really well. Room number 2, this one unfortunately was a drop because of RNG and nothing else whatsoever. Sylvie passive made Gwenum target Super Scroll, and then when I used the Sylvie ult, I pushed Super Scroll, and that's the issue. We'll actually replay this because this is the way the fight is supposed to go. So essentially, it's Sylvie ults turn 1. Loki uses his special on Super Scroll, and the mind controls delete Super Scroll turn 2 right away, and it works really, really well. And then essentially you just play it out from there. But it's Death Pool with Bifrost here, so we have the ult from Sylvie here. And then here, it depends on how big your death pool is on who you want to target here. My death pool is level 100, gear 18, 3 diamonds. So I just basicked on Super Scroll. You can use the special for the health steal if your death pool is smaller, but mine is really big, so I didn't want to do that. So I just did the basic with the striker attack, and then I did the special. Super Scroll is dead, and then this fight is super straightforward, super easy from here. That one goes really well, but unfortunately, like I said, RNG cost me one fight there because of Sylvie passive making Gwenum, who is 3 diamond, hit Super Scroll there and take him to like 60% health, and then the Sylvie ult pushed him. And then room 3, we've got Tangled with Nova, Kestrel, Iron Man, Infinity War, the old counter to Darkhold. That's right, he's got Darkhold with CGR. CGR changed nothing. This fight was super straightforward. We've seen this one a million times. Room number 4, he's got BK with Vulture, X23, Cap, and Jubilee, and this is essentially using BK to manipulate the turn meter mechanics on X23, because if anybody drops below 50% health, X23 gets 40% turn meter. I just used a big team, Superior 6, walked all over this. It was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Room number 5, I used a Eternals pre-taunt, so we didn't have to worry about the blind big time, and then MLF just for more damage against this Infinity Watch here. Room number 6, MOE against Full Extreme here. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy, but unfortunately this was a loss because he out-efficiency'd me, and I wasn't able to one-shot because of RNG. So it is what it is, but room 1, he used MOE, APOC, and Doom. Got a really good efficient score here. Room number 2, mirror match. Super straightforward, super easy. Did really well here, a 63. Room number 4, also this was I think it was a punch across if I'm not mistaken too. Yeah, about a punch across, 200k punch down, so good on him. Room number 3, used Tangled, Eternals, and Nova, wiping my Black Order team real quick here. Unfortunately, yeah, this can happen, especially if he gets good RNG and Quicksilver doesn't get any positive effects that makes him go way faster and rewinding good people. So this fight can go his way pretty quickly, but it can go my way pretty quickly too. Room number 4, Cabal, Emma, and then he had Black Cat on offense, so he got that turn 1 trauma stun on Super Scroll because I don't have a pre-taunt in here with Zuggs. So this went super straightforward, super easy, 83-65. Room number 5, use Pegasus once again on Infinity Watch. Unfortunately, it's just going to keep happening. And then room number 6, he tried to New Warriors Quicksilver my room 6. Couldn't do it. Came back in with a cleanup, and the cleanup was pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, I lost to RNG because room 2, I could not get a one-shot because I had Emma on defense. If I had Emma on offense, I would have been able to do a different team and definitely get a one-shot there, guaranteed. But that's going to be my review for week 5. So let's get into my defense for week number 6, and we've got a spicy one. So for room number 1, I'm going to be using Infinity Watch. Obviously, same ISOs as per usual. We're going to put Skirmisher on Nebula, so she'll put an ability block on most people when she does her ult turn 1. I found nothing else good to put in room 1. I know this is probably going to get Pegasus, but if they're stupid and don't change their ISOs to Raiders, then this could be really funny because then we're going to put out some ability blocks on people that need abilities to do good things against Infinity Watch. So that's why I have Infinity Watch in room number 1. I still think they're an efficiency sink. I could possibly put another team in here, but honestly, I think Infinity Watch still is the best efficiency sink. If I see Pegasus still just destroying this, I might change it to something else. I really haven't decided what yet, but for right now, Infinity Watch is going to be the best bet for right now. Room number 2, nothing crazy. Obviously, Spider Society, still great in room 2. It's taking an APOC. It's taking a Spider Society of their own to beat it. So it is what it is. Honestly, I'm fine with this team being in here. It soaks a big, big team, as always. I like Noir on the corner with Peter B next to him because Noir usually goes in stealth. Peter B on the corner here as a healer delays the matchup a little bit more as well. Ghost Spider as a raider because she's pinging. Also, her ult hits everybody turn 1 when she ults. And then Pav as a striker and Penny as a striker as well is the best way to do this in my opinion. So this setup is the best. My Noir is really big. He's 2 diamond G18. Hopefully he's G19 by the time week 6 starts, but I'm not 100% sure. He most likely will be. He's really close. But yeah, this team is causing problems everywhere. As you saw from my room 2 opponent, he couldn't do the Hive Mind Pav counter. Room number 3, we've got full extreme in here. Really nothing else you can put in here based on not having any extreme in 1. I feel like Infinity Watch is better in 1 than it is in 3 because in 3 you give your opponent a better chance to use War Dogs on it. So that's why I feel like extreme is way better in 3 than it is in 1. Just because Infinity Watch is better in 1 than it is in 3. I would preferably like to have Extreme in 1, but unfortunately, it's just... Infinity Watch is just terrible in 3 because of the War Dogs counter that just destroys it. So we've got Extreme in here. We've got the correct ISOs. We've got Healer on Forge just to heal a little bit more. Raider on the 3 in the middle. And then Striker on Sunspot. I do have Forge next to Nightcrawler because Forge is going to be the #1 target. And then Nightcrawler is going to get hit a bunch, so Nightcrawler's passive procs, and he's going to get way more speed bar and just cause issues for them. Gambit in the middle goes stealth, causing gap placement. And then the 2 idiots on the side here, if you leave them alone, they can cause problems because nobody's going to want to be killing these 2. They're going to be focusing the left side here. So that's why I have this placement. But yeah, Extreme in 3, it is what it is. Sunspot gives offense up on spawn, so they're going to be assisting a bunch. So if they don't think to bring an Echo in here, it can cause problems. Or if their Echo dies super quickly, it can cause even more problems. And then they can fall apart really quickly. All right, room number 4, we've got Black Order with Quicksilver. I'm moving this to room number 4 because I feel like this team does way better in 4. And I have Super Scroll somewhere else on defense this week. You'll see him. So we're going to do Black Order Quicksilver because this team is just causing problems everywhere. You saw my defenses. A lot of people struggled on it. And in room 4, it makes it even harder because Thanos is going to ult a lot quicker. Ebony Maw is going to ult way faster. He's going to ult turn 1. We got Proxima Midnight doing a turn 1 stun as well, which is going to cause problems. And then also Quicksilver, obviously getting those passive buffs can cause a lot of problems. If he gets speed up, he's going to change the turn meter of the entire fight. So this is why I have Black Order Quicksilver in here. And again, Thanos is my bread and butter of this team with Quicksilver. They're both over 500k. So the other 2 are literally all under 200k, which is making this team look really tiny, but it's really just Thanos and Quicksilver that are just doing the Lord's work. And honestly, I'm going to put this placement here because Proxima dies super quickly. And then I'm going to keep this placement here because I want Cole to die quickly as well. And when he does, we've got gap placement on all 3 fronts. So that works for me. Then Thanos and Quicksilver are on the corners. So this is what I'm going to be running in room number 4. Now let's see what we got for room number 5. All right, room number 5. That's right. We've got Horseman with Sus. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm realizing I don't really use Horseman that much. I'm using Morgan Le Fay as a cleanup. Red Hulk was a cleanup. Rogue was on defense for a while, but I feel like this is going to be absolutely way better. I have this placement here because they're either going to choose to rewind Super Scroll or they're going to choose to rewind Red Hulk. You choose one or the other. You can't do both. Also, you could slot in APOC here instead of Super Scroll, right? You absolutely could. The placement would be the exact same. You keep Super Scroll over here, or you keep APOC over here to keep him away from the Red Hulk and the Rogue. The problem with that is I prefer the Hive Mind APOC comp to go into Spider Society on defense. I think it's way better and it's way safer, especially if your Hive Mind is not as big. If your Hive Mind is way bigger and you don't have as many issues with punch ups, then I would say put the APOC here and use the Hive Mind Sus. This here is honestly gonna cause some problems for people. I don't know about having Archangel here yet. I'm just gonna throw Archangel in here for right now. because I want to have the 4 horsemen. I might end up throwing another villain in here. I was thinking maybe like an Omega Red was my first choice, or another villain that I don't notice that I'm using. I haven't really decided yet, honestly. Omega Red's probably one of the best villains I'm not using. Doom, unfortunately, he's so useful on offense. I don't think I can use him on offense. Maybe like a Cosmic Ghost Rider just for another big character, but I want to see how this does round 1, and then I will probably end up pivoting and changing from Archangel, because Archangel is a terrible horseman. But with Red Hulk in here, he's going to special turn 1 at 133 speed. He's going to give Rogue speed, 10% speed. She's going to end up specialing. Then you're stuck behind the taunt. You're probably going to be hitting Red Hulk a lot with primary and adjacent damage. Red Hulk probably gets pushed. Morgan Le Fay's going to ult. Super Scroll's another problem on the other end away from the taunt. Archangel's probably going to die pretty quickly because he's the lowest, but then that causes gap placement. So this is going to be my spicy choice for room number 5. I'm really curious to see how people navigate this room, because I really didn't see any of these pieces being used on offense, so we're going to be sticking with this. Coming into room number 6, we've got SD Black Knight and now Dormammu instead of Cap. So this is going to be really, really good here because I have Dormammu to revive. Also, I noticed people were able to hit Robbie if they were able to take off the taunt from Black Knight. So I put Black Cat here in the corner next to Robbie to make sure they can't rewind the Robbie. And then if they want to rewind the 3 tanks and Dormammu, hey, go for it. But if they are stuck on Black Knight because of the tank, because of taunt on Black Knight, and they weren't able to strip it off, then they're just rewinding a useless tank and Ms. Marvel Hardlight, and then they are going to have the issue of being stuck on Black Knight and not being able to rewind the Black Cat at all. So that's why we're going to stick with this placement here. Dormammu, he is 7 red now as well, gear 18, level 100, so he's a big boy. He's going to give a revive as well to all the opponents here, which I think is super, super helpful. So this is going to be my room number 6, and this is going to be my defense that I'm going to be running for this one. I am really excited to see how this is going to work. I'm super, super excited to see this going much, much better, and seeing how my opponents struggle on room number 5 and continue to struggle on room number 2 and continue to struggle on room number 6, honestly, because 6 was giving people a lot of problems, and I think Dormammu with the revive is going to give people even more problems. So until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, y'all.